Hello everyone. Thank you all for joining us. So I'm very pleased to spend some time today to discuss about metrics for data management in plant breeding departments. So don't hesitate to use the chat to ask questions. It is on the right in your screen. Yeah, I will take a few minutes at the end of my speech to answer them. So first of all, as thought leaders in R&D departments, I assume you all wonder which process of your plant breeding workflow is it worthy to enhance? What gains can you expect from each breeding workflow improvements? Or how to choose the right indicator for process performance measurement? So if you wonder that, you are at the right place. With my team of agronomists and data management experts, we have run plenty projects of digitalization in plant R&D, and we are very used to measure performance and demonstrate the benefits of plant breeding software transformation. Then we thought, why not share this knowledge with the community? So I've prepared today some review of our experience with some methods to apply to your own agronomy and breeding activity to detect and track process improvement opportunities, to evaluate the potential gains in resources or time through the use of the KPIs. Before starting, let me introduce Dorian, that I am representing today. We propose for more than 30 years IT solutions to organize, share, and valorize our agro and vegetal R&D projects. We offer IT resources which respond to insights of the R&D departments with fast implementation of business processes and the liberation of researchers' creativity. For the IT departments with real-time centralization of multi-location data and security and integrity of data. For the management, for the shareholders, the maximization of the research investments, the monitoring of the research departments, and the intellectual assets valorization and sustainability. This today's subject is very important to us. As at Dorian, we are highly invested into monitoring all KPIs. This heritage comes from the high quality asks to deliver to our customers and our ISO 9001 certification from Bureau Veritas. The same interest in KPIs is also promoted along the project of IT transformation we are working on. In fact, we define, since at early stages of the project, some business KPIs that the project stakeholders would be interested in tracking and improving along the use of our software solutions. Today, after a short introduction on why setting up a KPI strategy in a breeding department, I will focus my presentation on 5 examples of KPI easy to track in your breeding process. And I've classified these KPIs in 3 categories. The enhancement of plant breeding processes, the acceleration of your information management workflow, and the piloting of your breeding department. The examples are only few of many more you can set up, and I will be very pleased to have your feedback on current and past experiences. Finally, I will conclude on some recommendation to fully operate your KPI strategy for plant breeding information management. As an appetizer, let me tell you who is your best partner for setting up these KPIs. This is your team. Cooperation indicator measurement and review is the key of a successful KPI strategy. And I invite you to answer to the poll, which is in the chat. I will look at the responses at the end of my speech. I would like to start this workshop with a short quote which illustrates the importance of setting up KPIs. Lord Kelvin, the physicist and inventor of the zero Kelvin, said, "If you cannot measure it, you can improve it. You cannot improve it, sorry." As R&D thought leaders, we see all the importance of constant improvement, which requires to have means of measuring the efficiency. That's why we are all here. It appeared to me important to start with a little necessary theory that KPI are values that measure your organization success. So they measure how the R&D department grows. However, behind every KPI is the implication that current conditions can influence trends and inform predictions for the future growth. So identifying leading and lagging indicators will help you qualify what assess your business current state and predict the future conditions. So in short, what is the difference between leading and lagging indicator? Leading indicator measure the things that affect your productivity. So you should track and monitor them to get clues on what you can improve. It might be also predict the future success. They are really input oriented. However, they can be in some cases difficult to track. On the other hand, lagging indicators measure how changes can be performed, how they have been performed. It tells you how you have done, but not what you could change, as it measures the effects of the changes. They are really output oriented and they are easier to track. So as a conclusion, use your leading indicators to impact your lagging ones. All the KPIs I've quoted today, you will see, are leading indicators. It will be your role as brain leader to apply to your own organization where your lagging ones are already probably tracked. Finally, when you pay attention to leading indicators and dig deeper to understand what's causing the trends, you are well on your way to establish smarter KPIs. That's why, and I will try to demonstrate it along my presentation, it is so important to have an information management solutions that doesn't restrict your ability to explore the data and gives you the total freedom to navigate in and around. So now, if we focus our attention on KPI metrics in plant breeding development, we need to have a spotlight on the breeding program that involves trial management and operations over years and locations. Indeed, on a 5-10 year strategy of variety development, several stages need to be worked through and validated to move forward. So building a KPI strategy for a breeding program requires to build specific indicators at each stage. As an example, specific ones for cross or inbred line fixing or back cross, and they really need to be specifically designed to take into consideration the process constraints and the goals. If we zoom in on the seasonal workflow as represented here, we can think about new indicators of performances to measure and to improve. So finally, the KPIs can be settled at each phase of this process to improve the general productivity and efficiency of the workflow. Breeding managers must also settle and track some KPIs on, I would say, other transversal activities like stock inventory or sample shipments. Many examples can be settled. However, today I will only introduce 5 examples on some specific R&D activities. And let's start with one example of KPI to support the enhancement of a process in plant breeding. I will start with the number of successful crosses. The breeders plan their crosses based on the breeding goals and the resources they have in hand. So the choices of crosses in advance is very crucial. Sometimes crosses are physically done by another person who planned them. It requires in this case some documents to assist the field operators or to follow the instruction of crosses. The flowering issues and the compatibility between male and female can also impact the results of hybridization, and the performance of crossing activity can be also evaluated through the rate of successful crosses compared with the crossing plan. And this index can be really optimized with a comprehensive data management tool which facilitate the transmission of breeding decision to the field. One of many functionalities can be the labeling strategy of males and females in the crossing platform, the mobile application to preview crosses to do, or a blooming tracking strategy in your data management tool to facilitate the work in the field. And there are more. So in summary, the information management systems should support the recovery of information for a quick KPI calculation, and it also proposes some tools and automation pipelines to improve the performances. Many more examples can be imagined and date. I notably think about the rate of repeated crosses, but maybe you have your ones, and I'm sure that you have already some. So don't hesitate to use our chat to share your ideas on KPI tracking. Let's see now another example of KPI with a focus on accelerating the information management workflow. And I will start with the measurement of the time and delay to centralize the results from observation to the database. Of course, plant scoring in our business is a time-consuming work, but it remains highly crucial to characterize phenotype. And digitalization doesn't need to be proved any longer. But I've again summarized some of more gains of digital plant scoring, as well tangible gains like saving time, or intangible gains with an improvement of comfort of work. As the observation need to be confronted with environmental conditions and genetic sequences to be fully valorized, the data centralization in a comprehensive database is very important to structure this valuable information. So an easy metric that you can all track is the time to get your observation from field centralized. Paper, Excel, specific or commercial application with tablets, many options exist to take observation directly from the source. But how to copy this information in the database? Our experience shows that a lot of time can be saved in this process of data centralization with a very low risk of losing information. Digital solution with synchronicity services offer the possibility to make the data available from the source to database in a very short delay. But beware, saving time must not be at the expense of security and integrity. As a concrete example, Dorian offers a software suite integrating offline application which is fully synchronized with the plant breeding data management software. So it makes a smooth information management pipeline that will support you into the metric measurement and also into the lean improvement. Let's see now another example, but now maybe at the end of a seasonal workflow. I will speak about the time to release reports for decision committees. In seed industries, the breeding teams cooperate with the development team, and committees can be planned to review results and make decisions of advancement and promotion. These committees make their decisions on reports or graphics which need to be prepared previously. Once the results are consolidated and validated, it can be time-consuming to report these results in a comprehensive format and share them to all the stakeholders. How long does it take to retrieve key information, analyze this, and choose the criteria to consider, design reports and share them? This is a very powerful KPI to track. And finally, there is much performance to gain if the research benefits from an easy-to-use data management tool to recover the valuable information, if the research reduces the diversity of tools for report building, PowerPoint, Tableau, Crystal Report, all these tools are commonly used to produce reports on numerical data, and they can be fully integrated into your data management solution. There is much performance to gain if research invests also on time into designing reusable predefined templates which don't need any more further configuration, and if they reduce the transfer between heterogeneous tools to disclose the final information. And Dorian finally has supported several R&D teams globally in their processes of generating reports by improving this workflow with some automation and some standardization rules. And this KPI takes a higher importance actually if the departments deal with several multicultural teams. Let's see now KPI examples more dedicated to piloting the R&D department. And I will start with one example on new R&D staff onboarding. R&D is mainly supported by trained staff who handles tools and methods put in place for a long time. And the R&D organization involved into growing of staff deal with a human staff turnover, but also moving of staff among crops and departments. So it is crucial for department productivity to be able to onboard new staff as possible. And if employees take a half year to become productive, nobody wins. So fortunately, a strong onboarding process can double the new hire productivity. And it is recognized also that an efficient onboarding will build trust and strengthen the company culture. It ensures the stability of knowledge above the human turnover. The employees needs in such way a high learning, low stakes period to acquire skills and become familiar with the tools and processes. But it requires to measure it. And the data management system can help the stakeholders to collect this information to calculate the time to get trained. To measure this efficiency, it can be also easy to collect information by asking feedback about the hiring process. And also, we believe in clarity brings efficiency. So investing on collaborative e-learning platforms and on comprehensive data management tools with documented processes should increase the efficiency of onboarding. Finally, on this onboarding efficiency tracking, it is important to maintain a lean improvement with periodic reviews and development of new tools, with notably quiz and survey. Last but not least, a KPI which should help into piloting efficiency of R&D department. This is of course the review of costs. And it will take, I will take today an example for the trial activity. The total of charges for R&D, and more particularly for the trial management, will impact, of course, R&D investments then on further projects. So incorporating into a trial management system some index of costs will offer the possibilities to R&D manager to track investments and charges with the common activity of plant breeding. And depending on the level of details, many cost information can be collected, managed, and compiled into the R&D information management system. For example, cost of soil preparation or cost of machines use, or cost on the final or cost on cultural practices. All this can be through the Dorian software solutions. We offer the possibilities to manage this KPI and track their evolutions. And over years, this can be measured and can be used as making of decisions of reallocation of resources, for example. It came the time to conclude, and I would like to say that KPI, like everything else in the business, is subject to change. Over time, your process will behave differently. Your breeding goals will evolve in response to the market insights, and you may discover that a KPI isn't helping you progress toward the goal, or that it's driving the wrong actions. That's why it's important to establish a formal process of iteration to monitor what's working and what's not. So once you decided on which processes and with what tools KPI will be monitored, we recommend to follow these steps and it will enable you to keep your KPIs on track. So first, schedule reports on recurring cycles, implying all the stakeholders. Indeed, gather stakeholders review KPI data on the schedule. It needs to be done following the natural cadence of your R&D activity. During these reviews, please ask yourself the right questions. Do you see any trends or significant changes from last period? Are any of your KPIs underperforming? Are you leading KPIs appropriately, informing your lagging KPIs? Do the right people on the right KPIs? Answering this question can be the occasion to review the KPI to track. And as I mentioned at the starting of the presentation, finally, a successful KPI strategy is one adopted by all stakeholders, from the collection of indicators to the report of results and revisions of formats. So you should also publicize the results periodically to all the stakeholders. Don't forget that the goal is transforming KPI results into action. So now revise or reinvent your KPIs as appropriate. And Dorian can support you. Our consultant may design and settle a KPI strategy and design the tools to track metrics for your plant breeding information management. With the tracking tools combined with business intelligence and reporting tools, all these KPIs can be settled and tracked within your software suite R&D experience. And this webinar just highlighted very few examples already set up by historical customers to feedback on value of implementing a collaborative knowledge management system in genetic R&D departments. And I notably invite you to download our ebook on that subject. There are many more examples. I assume that you have also your own ones, and I will be pleased to discuss about them. If you wish, you can now quote them in the chat and I will give you my feedback. Thank you very much.
R&D experience, leading researchers to their goals.